Hello, welcome to Goods In. Today I'm looking at this. This is the TR008 2-in-1 wireless transmitter and receiver, Bluetooth wireless transmitter and receiver from this company. But just full disclosure, first of all, I have been sent this product free of charge. So I'm going to do an unboxing and just kind of talk through the features, do a couple of tests on it and things like that. Just maybe do some quick recordings through the device to show you how well it works. This is not strictly an unboxing. I actually did this video before and made a mistake, and I just, rather than just correct it with lots of text up in the top, I decided to just redo the video. So yeah, this has been opened before, so if you think it's a little bit messy, it's because this box has been already opened. Okay, so what do we get inside? We have our little warranty thing here from the company, and instruction manual, which is in a number of languages, English being the first one, which, well, I guess makes no difference, but it's fortunate for me. And this is the device itself. So this is the small Bluetooth transmitter and receiver. It's not as small as some of them are. You may have noticed that on my channel a while back I did a video on a Trond Bluetooth transmitter and receiver, and this is not as small as that device, but it's slightly different because it has two buttons, one for power and one for pairing, which is kind of handy, but it also has a toslink, so it has an optical input on here as well. So, you know, purely just having that on the device means that the sort of space that it takes up is greater, but I also get the impression that this device is designed more as a kind of put in place and leave it, because it has a rubber, this is a kind of grippy rubber base on it, so it's sort of like designed as something that you just pick up and you just put it on top of your amplifier or wherever, you know, wherever you're going to use it, and just have it kind of more permanently in place. It's got a 500 milliamp battery, a 500 milliamp per hour battery in it, which is sort of also a benefit of having it slightly larger, because you can get a bigger battery in there, which means you get a much longer runtime on it. So if I just take a look at the back of the box, or in fact the back of the case here, and I'll just hold the specs up to you, you can pause the video there if you wish and see the specs. So the actual playtime in use is 20 hours in transmit mode and 12 hours in receive mode. That's interesting. I would have thought it would be the other way around, but fair enough, that's what it says on the back of the case. So what else do you get in here? Well, actually not a bad selection of cables. It comes with a sort of its own box of all cables, which I've tried to stuff back in here, and but they don't look like, I haven't cable tied them or anything, so they don't look as neat as they did when they first came in the box. Interestingly, yeah, so here you go, you do actually get an optical lead with it. That's a surprise. You don't really see these provided that often. It's a little bit like HDMI cables. You don't always see the sort of the optical cable provided, but you do get one of these with it to use. You also get the standard 3.5mm 1/8 inch headphone cable. So just you know, the normal kind of output that you would have out of your phone, though obviously not the iPhone 7 without a dongle. And you get a little male-to-male 3.5mm. I'm not really sure what you would do with that, actually. I suppose with on this here, because you do also get here, you get a female 3.5mm headphone connector to RCA phono. So I suppose you could just plug that into there and immediately make that a very short, neat RCA phono to standard headphone jack. Or, of course, you could plug in this into here, and then you've got a pretty long one as well. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So is that it? Is that all you get in there? No, I think there's one more as well. Let's have a look. Okay, no, you also get the cable to charge the thing. So just a standard USB. I think that's a micro USB on the end of there. So so what is it? Well, it's a Bluetooth transmitter and receiver, as I say. So you can, I'll give you a couple of usage examples in a second, but you know, actually go through that and try connecting it up with my phone. So I can, what I'll do first of all is I'll connect my phone to here via Bluetooth, so using this as a receiver, and then when this is a receiver, this of course becomes an audio output, this actual kind of analog audio out, which I can then connect to a speaker or an amplifier or whatever, and you just use music directly from my phone or whatever device, whatever Bluetooth device you want. Or it can be used as a transmitter itself. So then this would become an input. So I could connect my phone to here, input it into there, and then transmit it to another Bluetooth speaker. But the benefit of this is it's Bluetooth 4.2. So it's not entirely up to date because Bluetooth 5 is now out and was kind of I think started being pushed out. It's on the Galaxy S8. I know Bluetooth 5 is on the Galaxy S8 as of April 2017. So Bluetooth 4.2 isn't the latest and greatest, but it is a very current spec with Bluetooth. And it supports 2 devices, so you can stream to 2 devices at once. So if you put your music, if you connect some music into here, you can stream and output to 2 Bluetooth speakers or a pair of Bluetooth headphones and a Bluetooth speaker. You can do 2 of those. It does, as you'll notice on the specs on the back of here, shorten the range. So it gives an idea of wireless distance. Of course, all this kind of distance stuff needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. Bluetooth performance isn't amazing. It's meant to be short range, but it's fine. It works around a couple of rooms and things in a house. And you'll notice that on 2 devices, it basically halves the distance. So I imagine, therefore, that it just sort of slashes the transmit power in half for so 1 device would be maybe 50 milliwatts or something, and 2 devices would be 25 each. Yeah, and the other feature that's worth pointing out is the fact that it's apt-X low latency. So not only does apt-X provide better audio quality, I think it's effectively lossless audio quality over Bluetooth rather than the slightly lossy, is it SVOP codec on Bluetooth. It also has low latency apt-X, which in theory gets latency down to around about 30 to 35 milliseconds, which is easily low enough to avoid any kind of lip sync issues if you're watching video. Normal Bluetooth, in fact, I think normal Bluetooth is up around a couple of 100 milliseconds, and you really start to notice that. apt-X 30 milliseconds is not enough really to do live monitoring because you can really perceive anything above 5 milliseconds, 5 to 10 milliseconds. So you wouldn't want to use it for that, but it does get around the latency problems with video. All right, so let's quickly connect this up and try and get it working. The first mode I'm going to use it in is as a receiver. So I'm going to flick the switch over here to receive, and then I'm going to plug in my audio cable in there. It's a nice snug connector, actually, that. It's pretty, kind of inspires confidence, the fact that this is a really good, solid, good connector. The device itself is still very lightweight. They're only small boards in here and things, but it is solidly built. Let's connect this up. So this is now going to my trusty Bose SoundLink, which has an auxiliary in it. This is, of course, a Bluetooth speaker in itself, so I don't technically need to connect it like this. It sort of defeats the object, but I'm going to do it just for this demonstration. So let's connect that up to this, and I'm going to get my phone. First of all, I'm going to turn this on, put that on auxiliary, and turn this on. And I think you turn it on by pressing and holding the power button, which would make sense. Okay, don't know if you heard there was a slight tone, a couple of like 4 or 5 tone, and you can see that the light is now just flashing steadily. I haven't put it into pairing mode yet, and I mentioned just before that it actually has 2 buttons for that, and that's a really nice feature as well, the fact it has 2 separate buttons, one for pairing, one for power, because otherwise you have to do quite a large number of combinations with one button in order to pair, to turn on and off, to clear the pairing list, different things like that. So separating those 2 out makes it just a bit simpler to use. And I'm not just sort of saying that just for the sake of it. It is true, because I've tried this thing out and just sort of wanted to see how much easier it was to pair, and it's much simpler to pair than the single button Tron device, and in fact probably the other the TR007, which is a smaller device, more like the Trond. So let's get the phone on and put my Bluetooth on. I'm going to put it in pairing mode now and see how long it takes. So there's the device. And that's it. That's connected. So I'm now going to go into some YouTube music library stuff that I've got on here, and let's see whether this plays. Now the lag on here is because this is streaming off my Google Drive connection. It's not anything to do with the device itself. This is a WAV. I know you can't hear this too well. What I will do is I will actually record some of these directly into the sound card and put them in the description below. So put a link to them in the description below, because I think above all else, the thing is, what kind of audio quality is this like? Well, it's not too bad from what I've heard. As long as the levels are kept reasonably low, so not crazily over the top, it's not too bad. You do lose a bit of detail. It's not perfect, and particularly when it comes to sort of heavier beats and louder sections, there does appear to be some kind of built-in compression in the device. It does kind of limit it, which sort of, well, I mean, you do lose therefore some of the dynamics of the track, and it just becomes, I can't really describe it, just becomes like a little bit squished, the sound. It's not perfect, but it is very good, and particularly, as I say, if you keep the levels down and the music isn't massively complex, it sounds great. All right, so let's kind of reverse this situation. I'm going to forget the device like this on my phone. Fine, that's done. And I'm now going to clear the pairing list from this device, and you do that just by double tapping the power button. And that's cleared them all, and you can tell because it's just started flashing like crazy. And now it goes back to a normal flash again. So that's cleared the pairing list from there, and I want to now remove this from here, and I'm going to plug this, of course, now directly into my iPhone. Yes, it's an iPhone 6, so I can do that. And now I don't need any Bluetooth connection, and in fact I'm going to turn Bluetooth off just to be absolutely sure we have no connection. Go back into here, and I'll just start playing a track on here. And now what do I need to do? Okay, so I'm now going to turn this off by pressing and holding it down, change it to transmit mode. I'll turn it back on, and it now is a blue light on there in that mode, and I'm going to put it in pairing mode like that, turn my sound link on, put it in Bluetooth, and press it ready to pick it up. So those two should kind of find each other now. which they have. Great, there we go. So now you can see this is being used as a transmitter instead. Amazing. So yeah, this is nothing new in the sense that this is, you know, there's plenty of these around. They've been around for ages. There's nothing terribly exciting about a Bluetooth transmitter and receiver. But of course, the benefits of apt-X low latency is pretty good. The device itself is fairly nicely made and is just kind of good. It's just a really handy size, actually. It's really easy to use. And overall, sound quality sounds great. So what I'll do very quickly now is try connecting it to 2 devices. Right, so they're in pairing mode now. And this, I think, to get it to pair to 2, I have to press and hold, press and hold the pairing button for 5 seconds, I think. Yeah, there we go. So now that's flashing a green light. And I'm hoping this will pick up on the Sennheisers, which I think it has. Hold on a second, let me try that. Okay, so this is now playing on the Bluetooth speaker here, but if I hold my headphones up to my lav mic, it's also playing on these headphones. And you can see that it's connected to 2 devices by the fact that we've got a green light showing here as we're transmitting to one device and the blue light showing that we're transmitting to the other device. A nice feature. So anyway, there we go. I mean, this is a pretty good little unit, and so far I'm quite impressed with it. Thank you very much to the guys for sending this to me. If you're interested, of course, I'll put links to it in the description below. And yeah, thank you for watching. And if you've got any questions, comment below, and I will catch you soon.